You're listening to Real with Coach Herb and B, a podcast that brings you community and culture with your host, Coach Herb and B.
It's a Zoom. Hi, hey, what's up, y'all? This is Coach Herb. I love that. And my girl B, and
y'all.
We're always joined by Mr. Benz, even though we can't see him. And we are joined by a special guest today, Kathy and Graham Tracey.
Yay!
What's up, y'all? Oh, they are together. I thought they were in separate houses. Because Kathy is a real estate person, so
And so is
and so is Graham. So I didn't know whether you guys were showing a house right now or you are at your house. So
we are at our house, and we are doing an open house later, and then showing property after the open house.
It's a big real estate day today.
Oh yeah. Well, at least the weather's nice.
It is nice outside.
Yeah. So, B, what you got?
So today we have Greater Reston Living. We have Kathy and Graham Tracey here. They are Restonians. They've been here for however long they'll be able to tell us, of course. And so I'm so excited to have them on. We get the pleasure of experiencing them all the time, but we wanted to bring them to you all on our platform and then give them the opportunity to be able to tell them you all about their business and whatnot. So introduce yourself, you guys.
Oh, me. I'll start. So I'm Kathy Tracey with Greater Reston Living and Keller Williams, and Graham and I have been in the area since 1996. And our philosophy on real estate is it's not about a house, it's about living your best life. So we want to know who you are, what you like to do, and then we try to match a house. So it's not just about having, 4 bedrooms. It's about what are you going to do? What's right outside the front door?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool.
And
I love it. And Graham.
Yeah, so I'm Graham Tracey. My arm's in the shot over here if you're watching online. So Graham Tracey, the other half here of Kathy. And I am mostly behind the scenes of Greater Reston Living, although we work together on a lot of things. Mostly, I would say Kathy does on the buyer side more, and I would be more on the listing side, but we do overlap a lot. We work open houses together and do all kinds of stuff. But I've been in technology for about 25 years, so I kind of bring a technical bent to it, sort of behind the scenes kinds of data analysis. How do we help our clients understand the price points of different things that they're looking at, whether or not the house is worth it from a value standpoint, not just their emotional standpoint, that kind of thing. And we work well together, I think, because
you get 2 of us.
Kathy's the face.
Better than 1.
Kathy's the face, and you can see why she's the face, right?
Yes. I know her face pops up a lot.
I see that face all the time. That's right.
That's good or bad.
See that face all the time on my timeline. How about that?
Right. Oh, we're standing there talking, and then all of a sudden Kathy pops up. I'm like, where did you come from?
I'm always around.
Always.
But you know what, you guys? You also are leaving out what you also do, which is you also help promote the community as well.
Yes.
So explain that a little bit.
Well, oh gosh, where do I even begin with this? I feel like we're very much part of the Herndon, Reston community, and I love being out in the community and doing things with the community, with my friends, and making things happen, not just, staying inside my house. So, oh gosh, this is a tough one.
I know. She's being very gentle about it.
I know, right? She's at
literally
the YMCA like crazy, right?
Exactly. Anywhere that you can do volunteering or any type of service, Kathy is most likely there.
Yeah, I am there, and that's what I'm saying. She pops up from anywhere.
Like it's not just about me, it's about the people that I surround myself with. And I found most of those people at the YMCA. And so when I get an idea in my head, and I just kind of throw it out there, I've got a team of people behind me. We're able to raise money, we're able to make an impact, and, just be a better community because of it. So I've won a community award, the Jim and Karen Cleveland Award from the YMCA. So that was my work in the community, and I was very proud of that. And then within Keller Williams, I've already won 2 awards. I won a cultural award a year ago, and then this year I was awarded the Cultural Ambassador Award for 2020. And there's only 2 in the entire region, all of Virginia and West Virginia. So
would you look at that?
I'm super proud of it. I have a sash, so you might see me out in the community wearing it.
Now we have to have a picture of you with the sash.
I need to take that photo. Imagine I haven't done that.
This just happens. This stuff just happens. Like I'm
I
sitting.
know the way she says it, it's like, oh yeah, well,
I just got another
I just
award.
won a Nobel Peace Prize.
I know.
I don't know. I feel like, as much as I love it, it's just, it comes natural. And so it's, I don't feel worthy of being awarded, for something that I just really enjoy doing.
Right. I know the feeling. I know the feeling.
Yeah.
Somewhat.
I feel like you integrated into like whatever you're doing, right? So if I think back, you used to do more triathlons and things like that, and then would always be like, hey, I'm doing the triathlon, let's raise some money. And then other people would say, hey, that makes sense, let's do it. And next thing you know, $25,000 was raised for cancer or something like that.
Well, that was
right?
the 150-mile bike ride that we did. And yes, we raised $20,000 from a team of, 5 of us.
The what?
Nice.
What did you just say?
It was a 150-mile ride to conquer cancer through Johns Hopkins, and it was about 5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
The Y helped me out a lot with that as well, because they allowed me to, I was making stuff, and if anyone contributed, they got something, and $20,000, and we were at the Reston Farmers Market every weekend collecting money, and everybody was just really, really generous. And so, I love my community. I love what I do. I like being out there, and I always welcome people to join. So if I ever am doing something, the more the merrier.
And that's why we heart you.
Right. So, Ben, what you got for us, buddy?
Great, thank you. So, Kathy and Graham, how long have you guys, now been doing this real estate game? Graham, I know you mentioned that you had been doing IT previously. So, what kind of also drew you over to this career path?
Oh my goodness. Well, Kathy, we became empty nesters, right? You want to tell it?
I'll always jump in. So I'll let him start, and then I'll take over.
So our kids went off to college, and Kathy was always had a side gig, right? You always had a side hustle in addition to all this community events and things like that she would be engaged in. She always had a side hustle, right? Her stork business, birth announcements, things, signs like that was all over Northern Virginia in the neighborhoods. Yeah, you see those things.
Yeah.
I've used it.
Yes, you have. On balcony.
And so we're sitting there. I remember like it was September maybe, or it was August. The kids had just gone back to college. We had
just dropped Claire off at college.
This is like about 2 years ago.
What am I going to do with my life?
And said, yeah, we got to do something now, because the side hustle wasn't enough, right? And the tuition bills started coming in. And
I couldn't spend my entire day at the YMCA as much as I wanted to.
Oh, wow.
But you guys, you get tired of me.
I know.
And I was like,
talk.
Let's get something
going.
You
say, Herb?
Let your husband talk a little bit, please. Okay.
I'm used to it. So basically said, hey, I looked it up real quick. I said, there's a real estate class going on right now. Why don't you, it's starting next week. Why don't you join? She's like, what? Really? We had talked about this 25 years ago when we first moved to Reston. And, then it was like, all right, what's the big deal? It's $500 class. We'll put $500 in just to try it. If you don't like it, fine. If you do, great. We'll have a new pathway to follow, whatever. So turned out you were pretty good at it. Passed with flying colors. Got connected with Keller Williams. And yeah, so then I was like, oh my God, this is going to work. So I said, maybe I need to join. So I went and took my test, and next thing you know, we're working together on this. So I still work on my other company, but Kathy is full-time. And I feel like I'm full-time too, but I kind of like double full-time.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
I have like 2 jobs. Great.
How did you guys exactly come up with the name that we can clearly see on Kathy's shirt? And I know from following you guys and being so close with Kathy through the Y, you guys recently just changed the logo or came up with the logo. So how did you guys exactly come up with that and choose Reston to begin with?
That's you. I was in class, and he was like, we need to come up with a name.
maybe the name was me, but you were the inspiration, I will say. Because I see, seriously,
Imagine
because
that.
she said, you always talked about you came up with the slogan, it's not about a house, it's about living. Because she was like, I don't like, here's the thing. In real estate, there are so many cheesy look, we love our real estate agent colleagues, they're awesome, but there's a lot of cheesiness going on in real estate. It's kind of, same old stuff. And, one person does something in real estate and then everybody copies it. And we were like, we need to do something different. We need to think about this differently. And we were like, we remember back when we started moving here, our agent started taking us out to Leesburg and Ashburn. And there's nothing wrong with those areas, but we kept drawing ourselves back to Reston because when we first moved, we lived in a little apartment in the Chestnut Grove Square condominium plaza area off of Wheelie Avenue.
Yeah.
And we were there, and then we were able to take advantage of the WNOD and go to the Reston Town Center and everything. And we started, that was our life, like going to the cool restaurants and things. It was growing at the time. This is back in 1996. 96. And, it was like a little thing compared to what it is now.
But out west, it still wasn't developed the way it was now. So it was about how we wanted to live our life, which is why we kept being drawn back, because Reston was already established.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were like, Reston feels like it's another hub to me. Like, when I think about Northern Virginia, you got a lot of booming activity in Tysons. So obviously that's a city, of sorts. But Reston feels like a little bit, a burgeoning on a city. Not quite a city, we call it a town still, but it's getting there. It feels like a lot of people who live in the towns surrounding Reston kind of go to Reston as their downtown locations, right? Yeah, you go shopping at Costco and you go other places. If you want to go out on the town, you probably end up in Reston a lot, right?
Correct.
Yeah. The other thing about Reston, it is community, because whenever I walk in somewhere, I know somebody. So it feels like just home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I've noticed that from living here, especially from moving because we lived in Bethesda and Glover Park and then DuPont. Like Bethesda, I felt super into the community, but not as much as this one. And especially being downtown, you can't really there's no way you're going to get as tight knit with people in DuPont Circle. So coming here was an eye opener, and I really, I don't know, I like it. It's just a different feel.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Reston's
People
always
open.
been like that. I feel like it's always been like basically a planned community. It's like everybody that comes in, people are welcoming. They're always trying to, show you what they think it's a good time or a good place to go. When you guys mentioned Chestnut Grove, like there's the WND trail, but then there's also little paths around that area that you can just explore, and there's actually paths that get you, like a trail that gets you to Lake Fairfax. all
Exactly.
around there too. So that's like even a bonus. Like,
Yeah.
if you have pets, you can just like go down there and just walk around and head on back home without even blinking. So it's
Exactly.
actually a lot of things going on in the Greater Reston area.
Greater Reston
and
area.
it's not, we're adventurous, so we explore all the areas. So,
I mean, that's
it's all about Northern Virginia. We just call Reston home.
yeah.
Right.
Well,
Now
that's
that
what Kathy's
go ahead,
always
Graham.
doing the videos and things, right? So got the YouTube channel going where it's like everywhere we go, we sort of see Reston as our launch pad, but we will go out to the Shenandoah, we'll go out to breweries in Loudoun.
Right.
We're going into Washington, D.C. a lot, right? So it's a city. The cool part about the area is Reston is a town that's like a city, kind of, right? But you have a city nearby, right? In Washington, D.C. You
Correct.
have the countryside. You have everything in this area.
Everything.
So it just feels like you can do anything you want in the greater.
And you're
Reston
right
area.
you're right here in the middle of it.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's the launching pad. It's like the hub, like you said before.
Yeah.
You get to where you need to go. Any place you jump on Route 7, the Greenway, or the toll road, and head on out.
You have the airport, so you really can go anywhere.
Any place.
Yeah.
Yeah. The airport is 7 minutes away. So it's like,
It's
you
crazy.
can go pretty much
It's so
everywhere.
much. And the metro when it's open.
Once we get out of this whole crazy pandemic situation and we're allowed to travel to other countries, I'm sure people will be ready to go to places.
Well, I was going to say, now that you've sold Reston so much, what would be the first step that Kathy and Graham, that you guys would give an individual or couple that are looking to possibly buy a home? Now, yes, maybe it doesn't have to be right here in the Reston area, since it is kind of a hub and a point of interest for a lot of people to come to kind of get away from the 9-to-5 normal things that they do at home or at work. But what would be your best first step? Because I know Bianca has kind of been starting on that path to home ownership as well. So it's hitting close to home for our podcast, and I'm sure for a lot of in our audience as well.
You too, Ben.
This is true.
I know I yelled at him the other day about it.
Oh,
I'm gonna give that one to you.
Yeah, leave that one alone. I think that might be another show.
So the question is, where would we direct people, or show buyers, or?
Yeah, what would be the first step if you're looking to buy a home? I feel like the very generic thing a lot of people say is to first and foremost, to get a loan to find out how much you're pre-approved for. But I know when I was first starting out for my condo that I'm in now, how do I find a loan agent, or how do I find somebody who directs me in that path? So it's easy to hear these things, but it's really nice to have somebody as experienced as you guys to really help out with that first step.
What we typically do, we have an in-house lender at our Keller Williams office, McLean Mortgage, and he's wonderful. And what's nice about having someone local is, like, you can actually go in and meet him, and he will actually work with you the way we will work with you through the entire process, and he will know you. It's not just like some type of loan that you can get on the internet. It's person to person. Mm-hmm. So that's what we would suggest first, is where's our price point? Where do you want to be? And let's see if we can make that happen. So you get in touch with the lender, and it's a casual conversation, no obligation. It's a conversation. Find out what you need to find out, and then make educated decisions along the way.
And I still think it's about like, why? Why do you want to move? How do you live, right? So the living part of it is like, how do you live? What do you like to do? What are your long-term goals? Things like that. Also, yes, the price point is critical, because you need to know what your boundaries are and what the constraints are.
You don't want to fall in love with a house and then you can't get it.
So like, in terms of being able to like go out and see homes, you should be approved for a certain price point, right? But what I would say is, even if somebody is just thinking about it, and they're not ready to go do it yet because they don't really know where to start, like a first-time home buyer or something like that.
Mhm.
I think it is trying to get an understanding of what they like to do and what they want to do and where they would like to see themselves be, and then start getting them into, okay, finances and other things, and then is that possible? Or how
Sure.
long will it take for that to be possible, right? If you need to save,
Okay.
or if you need to clean up your credit, or whatever it is you got to do to get on that path, I think.
Right.
Awesome. What would you guys say is one of the biggest challenges that you see from someone looking to sell their home? So now you've enticed me. Okay, I need to, move to Reston. I love the path, love the community aspect of it. I've been, living in Fairfax or been living in Rockville, and I really want to come to Reston. This is the place that, my family, it works best for me. So what's the biggest challenge that people might have now trying to sell their home to get to be where they want to be?
Oh, yeah.
Luckily, right now, August, it's a seller's market. So it's record low inventory of houses. And so anybody that is selling, the houses get snatched up right away, sometimes even, before they get listed.
Mm-hmm.
But in selling a house, also, like let's say somebody's lived there for 30 or 40 years, it's the memories, it's the clean out, it's how much clutter is there. And so that's, to prep the house to get on the market is a big step as well.
Yeah.
But we've got people to help with all that stuff.
Yeah.
Organizers, movers.
Yeah, it's funny because, like you said, like Kathy said, it's low in real estate speak, it's low inventory. So like we have, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood between 1 and 2 months worth of inventory of houses. So basically what that means is if no more houses came on the market, it would take 1 to 2 months for all of the houses that are on the market to sell. Normally a balanced market between buyers and sellers where it's sort of equal is going to be 4 to 6 months. And we haven't seen 4 to 6 months around here in a long time. So in the last 2-3 years, easily 4 years, it's been mostly on the side of the sellers. But even recently, it's like hardly anybody selling their house.
Mm-hmm.
Not just because of COVID. This has been a sort of a trend. And I think there's a lot of sellers out there that are just totally terrified from the 2009, 2008, 2009, recession when the housing market crashed back then, that they still feel like that's, they're still like, I got to hold on to my house, right? But it's like the best time to sell right now because interest rates are so low for buyers. The buyers are coming out in droves. So if you can sell, it's a great time. But
and
like Kathy said,
on all properties, most properties, you're getting multiple offers. You're hearing 8 offers, 14 offers, 18 offers. So how are you going to win that house?
Yeah.
It's
got to be, it's still got to be well priced, and it's got to be very, cleaned up, fresh. People are looking for they don't want to go in and have a project usually, unless they're investors or something like that. But the typical buyer is looking for something fresh. I can move in ready. I don't have to do much to it. And if you can get the house prepped to that point, that's where I think the sellers struggle though, is they don't know how to do that. And I don't think they realize that realtors actually help them do that. You might work with a seller for months to try to get them there. Especially somebody who's been dug into their house for a long time. Like we worked with somebody who lived there for 30 years and raised her children there, and now they're grown and off, but yet everything in the house reflected the days, 15 years earlier or 20 years earlier.
30 years earlier.
So it needed to be updated. It was a great house, just needed to be updated.
Freshened up.
Purged, moved. All that stuff is, is like overwhelming to people.
Right. Right. The open space. I had a friend that he literally decided to sell, and he was moving, so he, obviously got with a real estate agent, and the real estate agent says, this is what you need to do, and he got it all. He put money into the house as far as updating some of the stuff in the house, and he put it on the market. I think the day he put it on the market is the day it sold. Like,
Yep.
yeah, I think he had like you said, Kathy, like maybe 3 to 10 offers, and within several hours, and took the best offer and hit the road. He was like, I'm out of here. So it's definitely, I mean, he was sad to leave because he wanted to stay in the area, but he also had an opportunity to go somewhere else to make it a different situation. So, which was good, you know. Like you said, it's a seller's market right now.
Yeah.
There's a couple of houses in my neighborhood that are coming up for sale. I don't know if you guys remember the lady who used to work at the Y. Her name is Kim. She has her house for sale. Yeah. So they empty nest. So now they're like, okay, time to downsize or something. You know, I didn't really get a chance to talk to her, but she's ready to. I think they're ready to like make that move and you know, get something smaller or move further out. I'm not sure. So.
I think a lot of people still are afraid, right, or not knowing that you can actually still sell a house, or people are buying houses even during COVID.
Yeah,
they don't know, so they're like, yeah. Bianca.
I am one of those people. I am very afraid. I talk to Kathy about it all the time, and she beats me up about it all the time.
I'm very nice about it.
She's very, very nice. But like, I also understand that I have fears that everybody else has, right? About what do you do about getting your credit together? And what do you do about the first step about getting that loan? What do you do about figuring out what's the best place for you to live? Like you said in the beginning, right? What's the best school system? Just trying to figure out what's right and where could you see yourself for, you know, a while or however long you see yourself living there. So it's just it's a scary thought. But I know once I leap into it, that I know that it'll be okay if I have the right people guide me the right way.
Yeah.
So,
well, a lot of times you can actually save money too. You know, it just depends on rent prices, all that sort of thing. A lot of people's rent are more than their mortgages. You know, first-time home buyers and things that are coming out of renting often are surprised by the fact that you can, you know, you might have to put some money up front, although much less than most people think. Most people think they need a big giant 20% down, but usually we're seeing the average is about 6 or 7%, right? And sometimes you see 3%, 3.5%, you know, that kind of thing. Just depends on that's why you want a good lender, because that lender will help you figure all of that out, what's the best option. But yeah, the COVID thing's got sellers, I think buyers are starting to realize they can get out there, but sellers are the ones that are like, I don't think anybody will buy my house. They don't realize yet that there's actually very high demand. The price of a house kept going up even during the COVID process. And most people are surprised by that, even though like lots of people were losing jobs, lots of problems in the economy, without a doubt. The prices went up because the market kind of stalled in terms of new houses coming on the market, but the buyers were still there, and so the demand was still high. But that's why there's low inventory created high demand, essentially. So anyway, I'm getting into the numbers. See, I told you I was the numbers.
No, I like that. I think I like that.
It helps people understand like the whole process as well. So I didn't even realize that it was, you know, you could purchase a house as low as 3%, you know, down and all that stuff. So that really helps people understand that too. So
just have the conversation. That way you have your answers, and that way you can make a move.
Yeah.
Kathy, what would you say is your favorite part of being on the Keller Williams team? Now, I know you and Graham have, you know, created your own little partnership inside of the Keller Williams umbrella, but, you know, what has really sold you and wanted you to join up with Keller Williams and and use their resources?
Well, it all started with Graham had a friend who got into real estate, and we actually went out to lunch with him, and he was kind of like, he wanted to meet me. Would I be good at this? And of course, he met me, and would I be good at this?
Oh, so humble. So humble you are.
I like that. Yes.
He wanted to know, if he was going to guide me to do this. Like, he didn't want to tell me to do it if, like, I'm, the personality for it. And, who's my sphere? Do I have friends? And, how would that work for me? Anyhow, so then he told me about how much he liked Keller Williams. And Keller Williams, they don't put work first. And I think that that's what I like most about it. It's faith, family, and then work. So what I also like is that KW really actually does care about their, the people that work for them. They're, if you're having a hardship, they have money set aside that, like, if someone lost their job, and it doesn't even have to be my husband or my kids, if somebody in my, down, like my sister or something, like, I could tap into that and never have to pay it back.
Yeah.
So
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
That's what I like about it, because I really feel like they care about their people.
Yeah.
I could tell that the people cared about you when you came and did your community service project, and let alone cared about each other, because the way that you all work with each other is amazing. It's a big team, right? Yeah. And everybody is their own boss in a sense, right? We are. So now you're in a group with just a group full of bosses. Trying not to boss each other around, and trying to just make sure that everybody is on the same path and doing the volunteer work. And I thought it was amazing to see all of you come together and do it.
Funny is that even though we're all independent, we're all each other's biggest cheerleaders.
Yeah.
So we support one another, and I really, that makes it a lot more fun.
It's interesting because technically we're sort of competitors, even within the umbrella of Keller Williams. Right. But not really, in the sense that we have that, and I think that's what KW is all about, is the cultural aspect of it, is say, hey, if we actually work together as a team, yes, we might have our secret sauce. We don't want somebody else to learn or know or whatever, but most of the time we're really sharing and helping. And that's one of the things Keller Williams does pretty well too, which is they have a ton of great training. So agents are top of their game kind of thing. Nice. And that's why it's grown, it's the number one real estate company in the world, actually. So, and yet its name is not really well known, believe it or not, right? Most people.
Yeah, that's why when you guys were saying Keller Williams, I'm like, oh, okay, I've heard of them, but they weren't. I guess you could say, like, oh my God, that's the number one
right
real estate business.
I feel like that's the only agency
maybe
that
they
I've
should sell sauce, right? They should have Keller Williams sauce, KW sauce. another selling point.
There you go, Kathy. And then you can make the labels and put Greater Reston Living.
Greater Reston Living, KW sauce. This is how you get a house.
Exactly.
I love it.
Well, we were talking about the, living in this area. There's 1,000 things to do. Kathy and Graham, you guys have, mentioned that you don't just stay here in Reston, even though obviously it's a home for you guys. What are some of the events that you guys really enjoyed and maybe are now missing or looking forward to coming back in the area, whether it be here specifically in Reston/Herndon or in the greater Northern Virginia area that you are very, that right now it can't happen. There's just too much going on out of safety and precaution that we kind of have to be worried about, but you're really looking forward to coming back.
My goodness.
Well, I guess I can start with, I'm missing family and friends coming to visit, and we save DC for whenever they come in. We really haven't been to DC since the whole COVID thing started, but
yeah.
I know that there's a lot going on. I just trying to stay safe and stay away. But so I miss being able to just get in my car, drive somewhere in DC, go into a museum and enjoy it for the afternoon. It's so nice that we're so close. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump, and you can just go there in the afternoon and be home.
I mean, what about used to do all the races and everything. And
I miss the races, but I also have an injured foot, so it's okay.
That's why I forgot about that.
No, I am missing it, but my foot really hurts. So
yeah, so you're fine.
Is this the same foot, Kathy?
It's the one that I broke, the one that I sprained, or the one with the planters. Which one?
Oh.
Planters.
Foot.
There's several injuries on that foot, huh?
Yes. So I miss the Reston Sprint. You know, I always do the Reston Try every year. That comes in September. One of my favorite races ever, and I've done it every year. I think I'm on year 14 or something. The Army 10 miler in DC, and that will be virtual. I may be walking that one.
I think the Reston Sprint was happening yesterday.
It was virtual.
Yeah, virtual. Right. Yeah. Okay.
But, you know, PR always has their 5Ks every month, and I'm enjoying, you know, I enjoy Potomac Runners. It's a local. I'm sorry.
Everybody knows PR, but yeah.
So I miss the races that happen through the Reston Town Center. You know, the Century Ride that we have. But,
breweries. We love our breweries.
So we're gonna, you know, we miss like the beer fests. Like we've been to that Snellygag. What was it?
Oh, Snallygaster or something like that. Yeah.
Loudon.
Loco Brewfest.
Yeah.
We miss being able to meet up with our friends out there.
We're still going to. Now, the good thing about breweries, and that's one of the things we end up doing as by default. We'll go to an open house and then be like, okay, we're done with that. Let's go to a brewery. So at least you can still go outside for the summertime or the nice weather.
Right.
Side thing with them. So that's good. And we still go and try to do that. We've got our old friends, Lake Ann Brew House, that we love to do in Reston. And, of course, we go to the other ones all around as well. But not as much. Right? Not as much because you're sort of like, oh, well, it's kind of a hassle or whatever. So I wish it was just like, we just do it, right? And go to restaurants again, that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting, you guys, you know, because for me, maybe it's because of my work and we do a lot of events and things like that. I was thinking like the Taste of Reston, Herndon Festival, you know, all these different big events, which, you know, to your point, you can get together with friends, but I thought it's really interesting that you guys mentioned the fitness side of it. You guys are, you know, maybe a lot of people don't know that about Reston. I mean, I know we've talked about time again about the trails and the WND here, but Reston is a very healthy place to live. It's not, you know, oh, you just sit here in your house, you're in the stuff, you know, you don't talk to people, you don't get out, or you just, you know, do something very small and local. But there's lots of events to get into to try and help you stay healthy and stay fit.
And lots of ways to stay fit without having to go to a gym.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Active community.
I'm not as fit though, Ben. I don't know.
It's just Kathy. Gotcha.
I used to do some mountain biking around. You Herb mentioned Lake Fairfax, so I used to do a lot of mountain biking around there.
Oh, nice.
Mountain
Lake Fairfax is very nice.
Get back to that. I got to get back to that.
Well, Bianca is actually going to jump in here and do this next news segment. We haven't really done it with anybody else before, but knowing Kathy, I thought this would be a really fun experiment for her.
Yes, this is for you, Kathy. You're the starter.
Here we go.
This is for you. All right, give me 1 second. Hold on. So,
Graham, you can answer too now.
Okay.
Right, so we have some rapid fire questions for you, right? So this new segment is called Real Recognizes Real. There we go. Ha.
Love it.
So here we go. You got 5 questions, and it's either going to be you, Graham, or you, Kathy, and you can answer it. You can elaborate just for a little bit if you like, or you can just leave it as is. So here we go. So who's the social media whiz?
Both.
It's who's in front of the camera, who's behind the
I like that.
That didn't answer the question.
Graham took the nice way and said both, and then Kathy said whomever's in the
the face of it and everything. She keeps it lighter. I'm more like, this is here's some facts about something, and she's like, let's tell them how much fun it is, right? Like, so we,
It's good balance.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so who's the contract checker?
Contract checker. You write most of them. I check.
Check and double check.
Who's the open house shower?
That would be me.
All right. Yes. All
Yeah.
right.
We meet a lot of people and we connect with them, and
She's a natural open houser. There's people, they come in, and next thing you know, she'll be talking to somebody, and that person will know the day I got engaged, or something. I mean, I'd be like, what? That was almost 30 years ago. How is it that this person, the stranger, now knows some intimate aspect of our lives, and yet we, and vice versa.
It's just natural.
And it happened in like 2 minutes when they were signing in,
And then they signed the paperwork and said, thank you so much. Here's all of my money. Where's my house?
Right.
I love it. So who's the workout killer? Yeah.
Even with a bad foot.
Yeah, even with a bad foot.
Yeah.
And then the last question is, who's the closer?
Ooh.
Oh.
It's a little bit of both, but come on. I close.
I was like, I need something. I do something.
Come on.
It's me.
All right.
So Graham, it's you.
Really, Kathy?
Yeah, exactly.
Can you get one?
I have to get to the finish line.
Okay.
Actually, truth be told, it's more about who somebody clicks with.
True.
If there is
Okay.
somebody who is more data-driven or fact-based or whatever, then it seems to fit with our personalities more. So sometimes, if they connect with you most of the time, and then sometimes somebody's like, oh, that guy knows, some data, and I want to know the data, right? And then I'll work with them to kind of close, and it's not about closing, it's about making them feel good about their decision, right? Because it's bringing them to their decision point and helping them feel like they know that they've gotten good advice.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you all stick with them afterwards, like to see how it goes after the sale?
Yeah, we do.
We want to do that more. We definitely want to see it as like a relationship, helping people over time.
Because you work so closely with them for X amount of months, and then you become friends. And, we, now COVID, we can't, but I do follow up. I do call them and see what's going on in their life. We just closed 2 houses on Friday, and they're busy moving in this weekend. And she's like, promise me that you're going to come have dinner on my deck. And, so they want us there after.
I was going to say, as much as we talked about being the social media was about being in front or behind the camera. For you, sometimes does it kind of stop being so much fun? Because I know you guys like to travel and do all those things, or does it always feel like you're kind of working, or does it as a nice kind of blend between the two?
I feel like if I'm doing something and it needs to be shared, then I do it, but it also has to come natural, because we'll be places and I'm like, I'm not feeling it. So.
Sure.
But I mean, I'd say we're having a lot of fun, but we do feel like sometimes we're like, oh my God, it's 10 o'clock at night and somebody's texting us to say, hey, have you heard from that other agent? Is my offer accepted? And we're like, no. Can I go to bed? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I asked that question.
Why were they charged? Anyhow.
Yeah. But most of the time it's fun. Most of the time I think it's
fun. But I think he was more talking about the social media. Do we find that we're working all the time? No. I feel like it's just natural. And
sometimes if it's some videos, we go out there and we say, okay, this is an intentional thing. We're going to go out there.
We plan it.
We want to tell the story of whatever. Reston Town Center, this, that, or the other thing. Other times it's like, we're doing what we're doing. Let's just do a quick video on it.
Yeah.
I know. It's funny because before COVID, we'll be at the Y, and all of a sudden, Kathy come in, like a blazing.
She walks like this with her phone up.
Yeah, there's Kathy. And then she goes and does her workout and whatever. And then all of a sudden she walks out and she's like a brand new woman, like all changed up and hair done. And
oh, yeah.
I'm like, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? You took a shower. Our big joke to each other was like, when are you going to take a shower? Are you going to take a shower now or are you going to take a shower later?
I'm going to wallow for a while is what I would say.
Right. And she'll be like, oh, today I have to go sell a house, so I gotta shower and clean up. I gotta get going. Bye. And then she just whizzes right out and gone. Mm-hmm. And it's just funny because like she used to just hang out all day. And I'll be like, Kathy, when are you gonna go home to your family?
You love me.
I do. And I would be standing right there with you talking about absolutely nothing most of the time.
You know how there's, find my friends or whatever on your iPhones or whatever? I don't need that.
You don't need that. You know exactly what she is.
That's right. That's right.
That's why.
That's right. Well, usually, you guys, at the end of every episode, we like to promote a local small business, of course, whether that's in DC, Maryland, or Virginia. We like to promote small businesses around. And so today's small business, just because I felt like it went right with real estate and the beauty of your home, I chose Reston Farm Garden Market because I feel like a lot of us around here go and we like to furnish our balconies or our front yards and make them beautiful. And Reston Farm Garden Market is a wonderful place to be able to go do so. And so the address is 10800 Baron Cameron Avenue, Reston, Virginia. And that's located right at the corner of Baron Cameron and 7.
Yes.
And I honestly go there all the time. We literally just ate a pot pie from there yesterday. So I love that place. All of my little garden things are from there.
Social media, right?
And I mean, and it's kids friendly too. So like,
very
the kids go there, they can so they have a good time.
My girls love to go and see the animals. And so the people will come out and talk to you about the animals too, because the pig they have just gave birth not too long ago. And so there are little piglets running around. And so we actually get to experience watching them grow and whatnot. And hopefully they will be in our package later to eat for bacon. And so we will definitely like to promote them. And they are, if you don't know, I believe, and somebody can correct me, but they are a Black-owned business too as well. And that family has been there for a long time. And so, Reston Farm Garden Market.
Cool.
That's pretty cool. It's some really good cider in the wintertime. It's like the apple cider.
Yeah, really I've eaten a lot from there, but I've never tried their canned preserves. I mean, they're their mason jar preserves and things like that, which I plan on doing this winter. So
nice.
A lot of jam, a lot of jelly, all that stuff.
Yeah. And so we also like to take this time, Kathy, for whoever our guest is, to come to just promote themselves and let people know how they can contact you if they're interested. And just so everybody knows, they will be back on the show as well. And they will provide more information as we go along. This will be a real estate series that they'll be doing. And so, Kathy, you have the floor. Graham, you have the floor.
How do you find us?
Website,
our YouTube channel, Greater Reston Living. My cell phone, call me.
We search Greater RestonLiving.com website, Instagram, all the socials. We're Greater Reston Living. Just search Greater Reston Living or at Greater Reston Living, right? Yeah. And YouTube, search for Greater Reston Living. If you just search Reston, Virginia, will be the #1 video that shows up. So how's that?
There you go.
Our channel from there. Right?
That's a stat for you.
We got to keep that #1, so we got to keep cranking out. Okay, baby?
You got to keep cranking, Kathy.
Got another video. I'm waiting for him to edit it.
Oh, yeah, we got another one coming out. The pros and cons of Reston.
Oh,
We got to keep it real. So we keep it real.
I like that. You keep it real. You bring us
I like that.
We got to have the pros. We got to have the cons. People got to
I
know.
like that. I like
the
that.
real to real pros and cons.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Well, thank you guys for coming on. It was a great time. It's always a pleasure, Kathy. You know, even though I pick on you a little bit, it's always good and good fun. And Graham, when we see your avatar, we will explain to the audience why you had the younger version, because you are the younger one in the relationship. So, coming on. Ben, as usual, great.
The Real to Real podcast is presented by Herbert Williams Beffo and Bianca Mosquitis. Our producer is Ben Runyon. Our technical director is Nick Patry. Audio and video lead is Megan Kottner. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow and like us on Facebook and Instagram at Real to Real, and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podbean, or anywhere else podcasts are found. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes. It's been real with Coach Herb and B.